va faire maintenant?
Ah, j'ai un rendez-vous ce soir avec... Alors, c'est quelque chose de patent. Tu as aucune idée. C'est l'un des clients qui sont là. Dépêchez-vous, les enfants. On va se faire fouiller. Allez vous faire fouiller.
I want a roasted eagle. But he must be a fine, strong eagle with a level head and a sense of responsibility. But roasted.
But the kitchen is closed, sir.
I'll open it.
It is very late. Understaffed. We've been on duty since 6 o'clock, and many of us have homes and families.
Has he?
A wife and 5 children, sir.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I heartily endorse you for having a wife and 5 children.
Thank you, sir.
And now, sir?
No, not until I get my eagle and roast it. Where's the boss of this place?
Monsieur Victor is engaged.
Victor. Victor! Come here, whoever you are.
Voulez-vous que j'appelle la police?
And you might just as well speak English, because I understand every word
we
you
know,
say.
sir. We know.
No, I shan't move until I get my eagle right there on the table. And I want my roast eagle.
The kitchen is locked.
Well, open the kitchen. And I want my eagle, and I want it right here.
But we can't...
Ah, my dear sir, something is wrong.
Are you Victor?
That's your service, sir.
Well, why can't I have a roasted eagle?
But you can, sir. One roasted eagle for this gentleman instantly.
But how? Where?
Where? From the eagle department, you fool.
That's telling him.
Now, I believe your car is ready, sir. May I assist you? That's fine.
But my eagle.
Surely, my dear sir, you haven't forgotten that an eagle has to be hung for 24 hours before cooking.
Naturally, I haven't forgotten it.
How I envy you tomorrow night at this time eating roasted eagle.
Yeah. But why 2 hats?
It's the fashion this season, sir. Allow me. And they both fit.
Marvelous. Marvelous.
With 1,000 francs, 1,000.
And in addition to the eagle, may I suggest a puree of thistledown and perhaps a salad of field flowers?
Victor, you are unquestionably the greatest man in Paris.
I have never denied it, sir. A very good night to you, sir.
Goodbye, Victor. Oh, Valley, Wally, Wally.
Waiter number 4 had a faint beard. If he isn't clean shaven tonight, shave him yourself.
Yes, sir.
The uniform of waiter number 10 had a very strong odor of benzene. Benzene in conflict with our filet de sol Marguerite is a catastrophe. See that it doesn't happen again.
No, sir.
I'm going to place the Countess de Tumba Muerta at table number 12.
That table is in a draft, sir.
Exactly. Otherwise, she'll order 1 chicken wing and a bottle of mineral water and occupy the table for 4 hours.
That's true, sir.
I think it's better that we change the head of the income tax department from table number 4 to 34. We've had enough trouble with the income tax department without putting them where they can wash our cat's receipts.
Yes, sir.
Oh, one very important thing. Where can we get wild strawberries?
Oh, impossible. They're out of season.
Oh, dear, dear, dear. Steamship Normandy. From Monday evening on, table for 3, halfway between orchestra and cellar, stop. Some of that special caviar for sister, stop. Celebrities for my daughter, and those wild strawberries Moscow with rum for me, stop. Joseph Ridgeway.
Sound like a rich American.
Yes, I'm very fond of him. When we first met, I was only a waiter, and he was a traveling salesman. And now he's the greatest manufacturer of snubbers in the world.
Snubbers, sir?
Mr. Ridgeway must have our finest table. We'll give him number 7. And see that he has the best waiter we have.
Yes, ma'am. I'll give him the Russian.
For Charles.
Yes, sir.
We must get some wild strawberries.
Yes, sir.
Stop! Don't move an inch.
Maxl? What's this?
I had to come. I can't wait any longer. I'm going insane. Insane.
Yes, Maxl, this sort of insanity usually leads to the guillotine.
Either you give me the money now or I'll...
You'll what?
First you, and then me.
Maxl, do you know what you need?
Me? No.
You need more sleep.
Sleep! I sleep when platoons of police march through my dreams.
Well, Maxl, as long as they remain in your dreams, we're safe. Cafe Metropole had a good business tonight. Here, sit down, sit down. What were the receipts?
Receipts. Victor, I'm not here to speak of the receipts. I come here because I've got to know what you are going to do about the 900,000 francs I loaned you.
A kindness I shall never forget, Maxl.
Only 2 more weeks and our books must be closed for the company auditors, and you haven't returned 1 single franc.
Oh, Maxl, listen to me. If I've seemed indifferent about our position, if I've seemed unsympathetic, cold, assured, too assured, it's because I must be. It's because I've always been. Not because in here I haven't appreciated the situation we're in. By my own fault. I never forget, not for 1 instant. So you can understand how happy it makes me feel that I'm able to tell you that tonight at 6 o'clock sharp, I am giving back into your hands the entire sum of 960,000 francs.
Oh, Victor, I knew it. I knew it all the time. You wouldn't let me down. But you said 960,000 francs.
I did?
But you took only 900,000 francs from the cash.
Yes, I know.
Oh, how like you. Always kind, always generous. But I absolutely refuse to take anything for myself. A new hat, perhaps, but 60,000 francs, oh, no,
that
no,
being
no.
the exact sum that you are going to lend me now.
What? Never, never one sou more, never in the world.
Can't you understand that I have only one thought to save us, you and me? Would you hesitate for 1 instant when a paltry 60,000 francs more would lift this entire burden from our shoulders forever?
But if you lose this time, we'll go to jail.
Maxl, jail or no jail, I'd hate myself to death if 1 hair of your head should fall through your trust in me.
I'm nothing but a poor, miserable cashier. Voila.
No one has ever questioned your generosity, my friend.
$60,000 francs for the bank.
60,000 francs to the bank. Who says Banco? All stakes admitted up to 60,000.
Banco.
Banco is does.
No cow.
8 to the bank. 120,000 francs to the bank. Who says Banco?
Banco. One cow, please.
9 to the bank. 240,000 francs to the bank. Who says Banco? Nobody says Banco?
Banco.
Banco is done.
No.
8 to the bank. 480,000 francs to the bank.
I wouldn't try it again, Victor. The odds are 60,000 to 1 against you.
No, Colonel. The odds against me are 960,000 to nothing.
Don't play more, Victor.
Will you stay, Monsieur Victor? Will you stay, sir?
I'll stay.
He wants to stay.
24,000 louis. 480,000 francs to the bank. Who says Banco? Does anyone say Banco? Banco.
Monsieur Victor, we do not know the gentleman.
That's quite all right, Michel. I have had the pleasure of meeting him.
Banco is done.
to the bank. 960,000 francs to the bank. No more, sir?
Oh, thank you. I have enough.
150,000 francs to the bank. Nobody wants the barcode? Make your bet, gentlemen.
This gentleman wishes to write a check.
Good evening, Victor.
Good evening, Albert.
Banque de France? That's all right. Victor Lober.
I'm sorry, gentlemen.
Sorry for what?
Sorry that I have no bank account. In fact, I have no money at all. I'm broke.
But you said banco.
I'm afraid I overlooked the possibilities of a miracle.
Why, you cheap thief. You're going to pay the 480,000 francs, or I'll break every bone in your body.
Well, if you think that that's going to help you to get your money, why don't you try it?
Just one moment, gentlemen. Leave him alone to me. I want to talk with him. No, Victor. We have a way of making them pay. Gentlemen, please. Yes, sir. They'll be right outside if he tries any tricks. Thank you. I deplore violence when a problem can be solved without it.
I'm glad you feel that way.
You're an American, aren't you? Passport, please. You are Alexander Brown. People who give 1,000-franc tips generally have resources such as relatives, family. But surely you have some friends.
Not me. A few months ago, I had all the friends in the world. I just inherited $1 million. Do you know anything about that great American institution called taxes?
I've been taxing Americans for a long time.
Well, here's the way it works. That represents $1 million. For the federal government, inheritance tax. For the state government, also inheritance tax. Probate costs. Gifts, and a slight government tax for the privilege of giving them. Back income taxes, the chief cause of my uncle's lingering illness. Lawyers' fees. And this represents my net inheritance. $6,000.85, the last of which I gave to you tonight.
The fact remains that you cheated me out of 480,000 francs by saying banco.
Well, what do you propose?
I have never yet lost money through mistaken judgment of a man's character. I do not think that you will prove an exception.
I hope not.
Be at my office, Cafe Metropole, tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Or rather, this afternoon.
I'll be there. Now, may I have my passport?
I'm sorry.
I can't move without it.
That's why I'm keeping it. Good night. It's all settled. You may let him go now.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. We all make mistakes, sir.
Yes, we certainly do.
Sit down.
Thank you.
May I? Say banco.
Banco?
No. Say it the way you said it last night.
Banco.
Marvelous. Such nonchalance. As though you had the Duchy of Normandy in your right-hand pocket and the Bank of France in your left. And you penniless. Say it again.
Banco.
When I say that you fooled me, I've said everything.
Thank you.
Not at all. I was just wondering which one of them you can be.
I beg your pardon? Dragomirov is dead.
Some of his family is still about. Let me see. Kosciuszko was hanged, but his reputation even before that was none too good. Your name is Alexander. Panayev. The older exiled to Siberia, the younger to the bottom of the Volga by the Bolsheviki. One of them was named Alexander. No, Alexis. That's who you shall be. His Highness, Prince Alexis Panayev.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Here. Read this. With a Russian accent.
With the... Oh, no, I don't think so.
Try it.
Will any Russians hear me?
I hope not, but go ahead.
From Monday evening, no. From Monday evening on table for 3, halfway between orchestra and cellar. Stop. Some of that special caviar for sister, celebrities for my daughter, and those vile strawberries, Moscow, with rum for me. Stop. Joseph Ridgeway.
Not bad. You can practice.
I guess maybe I must have missed part of what you've been saying. Do I understand that you want me to do some kind of an act here?
Let us say rather an impersonation, not as an entertainer. In this character of the Russian Prince Alexis, you will be called upon to entertain one person only. A very rich, and if I may believe what I see in the American papers, a most attractive eyeful.
Well, may I ask why I should agree to this extraordinary proposal?
You may.
Then why?
Because you do not want to go to jail.
I hate to fall back on a shoddy defense like this, but I've no choice. I must remind you that a gambling debt, in the eyes of the law, is no debt.
It's true. The law is a bit indulgent on the score of gambling debts, but it makes up for it by being inexcusably severe in the matter of bad checks.
I destroyed that check.
Oh, you threw it away. Fortunately, I remembered to rescue such an important piece of documentary evidence from the wastebasket.
And now, look here, I'll pay you back. My word of honor. If it's only 100 francs a week.
That would get me my money back in about 92 years. I'm afraid that's too late.
I suppose I won't.
In that case, in police parlance, this will become Exhibit A. Do you know the Russian national anthem?
Do you want me to sing?
Scarcely. Perhaps one of the waiters knows it. Garçon! Est-ce que l'un de vous sait chanter l'hymne national russe?
Je le sais, monsieur.
Alors chantez-le.
Боже, царя храни, сильный, державный, царствуй на славу.
All right. That music will greet you when you enter there at 9 o'clock tonight. Everything else will leave to me.
I'm afraid I haven't much choice.
I'm glad you agree.
I have my passport now?
I'm sorry, but I think I'd better keep it in case you forget who you are. Your Highness. Bonsoir, monsieur. Oh, it's you. Really? Go in there in the flower shop and get yourself a boutonniere. And don't overdo the monocle. You remember the time? Signal?
Yes.
Good.
I want something for, some kind of a...
An orchid, perhaps?
No.
A gardenia. Come with me, please.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I'd like to exchange this for something not quite so, something perhaps is a little less, don't you think so?
Where'd you get that?
Papa.
Oh.
You see, I'd like something I could carry. Alone.
Oh, yes. Would that do?
Oh, that's lovely. I haven't made to order.
Yes, I guess it was.
I beg your pardon.
I said yes.
How much will that be?
Oh, what was it?
I said, how much will it be?
Compliments of Victor, Cafe Metropole.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Ridgeway. I tried London, Berlin, Budapest. Not a wild strawberry in Europe.
I've never known you to fail me yet.
Nor do I intend to fail you now, sir.
Laura, you remember Victor?
Yes, of course.
Remember my daughter?
For 6 years, I've waited for this moment.
He remembers.
It was your birthday. You wore peach taffeta and a turquoise here. And you had 2 bombes chocolat for dessert, which is something no one could forget.
He's marvelous.
That's it, Vic. We're in Paris.
Oh, Papa, would it embarrass you if I asked Victor to point
She's
out?
looking for celebrities. You might begin with the kings and queens.
Oh, most exceptionally, we have no crowned heads here tonight.
That very distinguished-looking man. He looks like a prince, at least.
No. He's a manufacturer of paperclips. And that lady on the balcony there, who looks rather like a cook and not a very neat one, is Her Grace, the Duchess of Malton. Disappointed?
No.
Excuse me? Your Highness. Don't straighten your necktie, pull down your vest. Your Highness's table is ready, sir. If you will be so kind as to follow me, sir.
Well, I think this fellow Victor's a bit of a charlatan.
Shh, Maggie, here he comes.
If your Highness would prefer a table in the balcony, it
No,
can
I
be
don't.
easily arranged.
Highness. Royalty. Oh, dear.
This is a great honor, Your Highness.
What's wrong?
Wrong? Why, nothing, Maggie. I just mistook him for a clerk, that's all.
What do you mean?
Gave me a flower.
What?
He gave me a flower, Papa. See?
I've but one rule about titles. If they're charming, they're fakes. If they're genuine, they're stupid.
He's off again.
Do you see the young lady 2 tables down at my right? Don't look now. She's wearing a white mantilla. Now.
I see the tip of the nose.
That's quite enough. I want you to make love to that nose and to make that nose love you all within 10 days.
Make love? Oh, no.
You have a perfectly free choice, either to make love to a charming girl or to spend a few years in prison.
Bring me the most expensive dinner you have.
Very good, Your Highness. Serve him the regular table d'hôte.
Vodka with this.
Yes, sir.
With your permission, Mr. Ridgeway, His Highness Prince Panayev requests the pleasure of dancing with Miss Laura. It's a royal prerogative, sir, quite without impertinence.
Well, that may be true, but...
Tell His Highness I'd be delighted.
Thank you, Miss Laura.
Sounds like a royal pickup to me.
Your Highness, get up. She's consented to dance with you.
Who asked her?
You did. With an accent.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
May I have the pleasure?
Oh, yes, of course. Excuse me, please.
He'll get to you later.
Victor. Where's Victor? Waiter. Send Victor in.
Yes?
Tell me, is it only Americans who don't recognize royalty?
Oh, it was nothing. Any gentleman would consider it a privilege to wait upon you.
Yes, Mr. Ridgeway?
May I be permitted to inquire about...
You need not have the slightest concern, sir. His Serene Highness Prince Alexis Petrovich Panayev is very well known to me. Why, I knew his father before him. A magnificent prodigal. Why, in the old Cafe Metropole, I've actually seen him drink enough champagne to launch the Normandy.
Is this fellow a Russian, too?
Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir.
And why isn't he driving a taxi?
Well, it would be very unfair to compare any existing fortune, even yours, Mr. Ridgeway, with that of the Panayevs, for theirs is so much the larger.
Well,
Anything else, sir?
No, I guess that covers it all right.
You know, it's strange, but in the flower shop, I didn't notice even a trace of an accent.
It is so kind for you to say so.
How
course, now it's so slight. Just enough to be pleasant.
Well, my accent, she comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes.
You know, you dance beautifully. I suppose you ride just as well.
Oh, yes, my father was a Cossack.
Oh. And dogs. Do you like dogs?
Oh, yes. Yes, I love the Russian wolfhound.
By all civilized standards, this dance should have been finished 3/4 of an hour ago. What do you think it is, a marathon?
Well, I feel certain he isn't holding her out there by main force.
Why is it your father? He is glare at me so.
That's not a glare. That's a squint. He wants to see you nearer. Papa, Maggie, this is His Highness Prince Alexis Kanai.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Wait, 1 little minute. Don't move.
What?
Ah, 1 little minute.
Oh, Prince.
It was so good of you to leave 1 little touch for me to add.
Thank you.
Laura, we must be leaving.
Oh, after all, Papa, we've only just...
Anyway, I've had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Ridgeway. Long ago in Russia, I have heard of him very highly.
Yeah? You don't say so.
Yes. Yes, perhaps you do not realize what a famous man you are.
Oh, he's not entirely unaware of it.
It's been a very great pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Sit down, Prince. You're not leaving for a while. Let's all have a drink.
Yes.
Why, I should like to very much.
Yes, of course. Please do. Thank you.
What do you have, Prince?
Well, some, vodka.
Make it 2.
3.
Yes, ma'am. What kind of vodka, Your Highness?
The best.
Yes, sir.
Tell us something of your native Russia.
Well, when I was a little boy in St. Petersburg, we always had Ridgeway snubbers on our sleighs.
On your sleigh?
Mm-hmm. Yes, front and back.
There are times, Maxl, when I leave myself breathless with admiration.
You leave me breathless, Victor, but not with admiration.
So the poor hunter buys a 25-cent seat. The show is about to begin. You hear the blare of trumpets. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And in march the elephants, leading the hippodrome around the ring.
I beg your pardon, Your Highness.
Oh, yes.
Your Highness is wanted on a telephone.
The telephone?
Yes, Your Highness.
Yes, sir. You will excuse me, please.
Yes, of course.
This way, Your Highness. In there, Your Highness. Maxl, get Victor here. Never mind the telephone.
What do you mean?
There is no call for you.
But you said that
so
I was...
you are His Highness Prince Alexis Panaev.
Aren't you forgetting your position?
Shut up! Answer these questions. Кто ваш отец? Где вы родились? В каком полку служил ваш отец?
You had no right.
You're not even a Russian. Of course not. What Russian would dare steal such name as Panaev?
Do you mean to insinuate that I was...
Insinuate, you thief. I am Panaev.
But it's impossible.
And the only Panaev, the last of 9 generations of royal princes. I've starved, I've frozen, I've even worked to protect my good name, and here you are trying to steal it under my very nose.
Are you sure about that?
I am positive.
Then, boy, what a mess we're in now.
May I ask what mess it is?
Ask him.
What are you doing in here? Get back to your work.
Well, it seems that we have just one too many Panayas in the cast, that's all.
There's no need to detain you longer, sir. You may return to your friends.
So, you're mixed up in it too.
If you will leave this matter to me, sir.
You're welcome to it.
Get out. You're discharged.
You will please address me with respect, Victor.
Unless you have a very good explanation for this insane behavior, I shall make it my personal business to see that you never work in Paris again.
Impossible. Виктор, неужели ты мог забыть меня? Князь Панаев. Я, который тратил все свои деньги в твоем ресторане. За последний ужин я заплатил 100 тысяч франков и дал 25 тысяч франков тебе на чай.
I remember. Your Highness.
Victor, you miserable wretch. How could you fail to recognize the one who used to tip you in one evening? Enough money to pay my salary as a waiter for the entire year.
I can only beg pardon of your Serene Highness for the one blunder of my life.
Granted.
Пожалуйста.
Спасибо.
Is anything wrong?
Well, no. Not yet, anyway. Just news of another Panayev, that's all.
Not bad news, I trust.
Well, not particularly good.
He isn't dead.
Oh, no. Quite the contrary. Will you get a dance, Miss Ridgeway?
Oh, delighted.
And so, Your Highness, I am prostrate before you, completely at your mercy.
Well, Victor, 20 years ago in Russia, I would have had you chained and knouted and your tongue cut out for this.
Those, of course, sir, were the good old days.
As it is, the whole preposterous scheme is out of the question. You I can forgive because you are such an unmitigated scoundrel. You might have been a member of my own family. But that young puppy out there, you must throw him out at once.
As you wish, sir.
You're not angry, I hope. Oh, Highness. As a matter of fact, I am facing a rather awkward situation. On one hand, I cannot allow that young boy running around with my name. And on the other hand, I don't want to lose my job.
You need have no fear, sir.
Oh, thank you, Victor. Thank you. Well, and now that everything is settled, I may return to my tables.
Highness, there is no need of your returning to such a menial occupation.
Are you trying to buy my honor?
Your silence.
Why, you infernal scullion? Have you forgotten who I am? Do you realize that Panayev is the name of the family who for the last 300 years were related to the Tsars of Russia 25 times? 5 times legitimately? Why, I'd rather have my blood changed to borscht.
Oh, no, Highness, not borscht.
Ridiculous.
Champagne, perhaps, and your royal flesh into caviar and foie gras, but not borscht. You are a real nobleman, sir.
Why, for 3 centuries, the sacred duty of Panayevs has been to guard the honor of their name.
Oh, Highness, the sacred duty of the Panayevs for 3 centuries has been only to live. To drink from crystal, to ride wild stallions in the morning, to gamble wild stakes in the afternoon, to tame wild damsels in the evening. Panayevs live.
Oh, that's past. That's all past.
Oh, Highness, this is Paris. Your friends, the most beautiful women in the world, every night at table at the Cafe Metropole. Served, not serving, not as a waiter, but as a prince.
Oh, don't torture me. Please, don't torture me.
And the music that your Serene Highness once knew. The tinkle of gold, the throbbing of the balalaika, the laughter of a blonde girl.
How much? How much money is there?
50,000 francs.
Say it in rubles for all time's sake.
20,000 rubles.
Just for silence?
Just for silence.
Victor, light that candle. This is Panayev as God intended him. Open that door. Thank you, Victor.
Pleasure, Your Highness.
You know, maybe this is the very table at which Villon wrote. Oh, I do like this place. It's romantic.
These romantic places, they bore me. I hope the food is good.
Don't you like Villon?
No.
You don't? Oh, goodness, I do. If I were king, I'll love if I were king. What tributary nations would I bring to stoop before your scepter and to swear allegiance to your lips and eyes and hair? Beneath your feet, what treasures would I fling? And the stars should be your pearls upon a string in the world, a ruby for your finger ring. And you should have the sun and the moon to wear, if I were king.
You are quoting the poems of Villon?
No. No, it's about him.
Your soup, Madame. Oh.
Thank you.
Oh.
What's the matter? You know, you haven't spoken hardly a word all morning. Are you ill?
No, I'm not ill. I am in what you call the mood.
Oh.
You can never tell about the Russians.
Tell what?
You can never tell anything.
Oh. Well, there's something on your conscience. Have you killed someone?
No. No, that is the trouble. I should like to kill someone.
Well, something's the matter. What is it? What are you thinking about?
I was thinking about the Cossacks.
Your old regiment, I suppose. Huh?
What? No. Well, in a way, yes. I was thinking what fine horses they had. What lovely heads. What beautiful tails.
Well, I'm flattered to death. Oh, honestly, why can't you tell me the truth?
The truth?
Yes.
But I am telling you I have nothing to hide from you.
You know, I've never asked you. Have you ever been to America?
No, but my parents, they go there upon the honeymoon.
That's where I'm going on our honeymoon.
What?
I said that's where I want to go on my honeymoon.
Perhaps we better dance again, no?
Yes.
Where? Those lovebirds over there. Maybe you can do some business with them. Ils sont restés depuis midi. J'étais pas à l'hôtel. Si c'était un restaurant, moi je suis fatigué, mon monde.
Pardon, mademoiselle.
Yes?
Perhaps you would like to have me make a picture of mademoiselle for 40 francs?
You might as well. Just me, though, not him.
Oh. Is he drunk?
No. He just got sleepy.
Do you know him?
Oh, certainly. What do you think? I'd be letting him go to sleep here with his head in my lap?
Oh, I mean, who is he? An American?
Nope. He's a Russian.
He does not look like a Russian to me.
Why?
All of the Russians I met in the war, they smell bad.
He doesn't. He smells wonderful.
He's your sweetheart?
No, certainly not. Well, that is not yet.
Why not? You do not love him?
Yes, I love him.
Is it that he does not love you?
Probably.
Keep your chin up higher. Well, how is it possible?
Well, I can't understand that either. I'm such a nice girl.
You kiss?
You mean, well, not very much. As a matter of fact, not at all. See, there hasn't been much chance.
That's bad.
Why?
Kissing is very important at the first.
Oh, at the first.
No, not like that. On the lips.
What's in the paper, Joe?
Well, you were asking about the sailings to New York. The Washington, the 18th, the President Roosevelt, the 25th. Manhattan on the 2nd.
I wonder who that can be.
President Harding on the 9th. These are the United States lines. I'll look up the French lines for you later.
Yes? Oh, good morning, Your Highness. Yes, thank you. Yes, indeed. No, she hasn't forgotten. That's right, Your Highness. Yes, she's getting dressed now. Yes, I'll tell her. Yes, I won't forget. Yes. Okay, Your Highness. That was His Highness.
You don't say so. Do you think it possible that his interest has begun to wane already? Yesterday morning, we were all asleep when his first call came.
Oh, no, darling. That wasn't the first one. That was the postscript to the one that got me out of the tub. I'll get it.
Who's that now?
Yep.
For Miss Laura Ridgeway.
Oh, thank you. Will you just put those over there?
Oui, mademoiselle. For Miss Margaret Ridgeway.
Oh, green orchids.
Green grapes and sour.
For Monsieur Joseph Ridgeway.
Oh, thank you.
Green groceries?
Nope, cigars.
From Miss Royal Highness.
Green orchids, green grapes, and green cigars. Well, one thing I must say, he's thorough.
Papa, tie my shoe, will you?
Oh, well, now.
Sorry, Maggie.
Tell him she is now tying her left shoe.
Right to.
Yes? Tell His Highness Miss Ridgeway will be downstairs directly. She's tying her left shoe.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh, somehow it's very disturbing.
Now, what are you mumbling about?
My dear child, I wasn't mumbling. I was merely considering a peculiar situation that I might have to face.
What's that?
I mean, if I should have a prince for a son-in-law, would that make me a kind of a king-in-law? If so, would I be permitted to order a crown for myself? Size 7 1/4? Or would I be expected to wear one of those tall Russian fur hats?
Has he been drinking for breakfast?
Maybe this French coffee.
Probably.
In other words, whither are we drifting? What is it? Green orchids, green grapes. Can it mean that a rich but honest American family is being given the royal Russian runaround?
Papa.
Hmm?
Do you object to my seeing Alexis?
Yes. Yes, I believe I do.
Well, why in heaven's name?
Well, that's just it. I don't know why. But believe me, I'll find a reason yet.
Ah, isn't he cute?
Yeah.
What could you possibly have against him? Isn't he well-bred, thoughtful, amusing? Isn't he intelligent? And hasn't he been awfully nice to all of us?
Wait a minute. I think you've hit it. He is nice. And that's what I don't like about it. He's a darn fine boy, and I resent it. Oh, you think I'm crazy, don't you?
Yes, dear, I do.
Well, listen. Charlie Pell's daughter got engaged to a count.
Yeah?
As nice a fella as you'd ever want to meet. And what did he turn out to be? An Armenian from Brooklyn.
Well, I'm not engaged to him.
Huh?
I said I'm not engaged to Alexis.
Well, Tom Caldwell's daughter. She married a marquis, another swell guy. And he was so phony, the immigration authorities took him off the boat at Ellis Island.
Go ahead.
The only genuine title that I have ever met was that baron that married Frank Crawford's daughter. And he was the dumbest, stupidest, most boring dope that it's ever been my misfortune to shake hands with.
Laura, I consider his remarks unpatriotic. Our own clean-cut young American boys are just as anxious to marry money as the foreigners are.
Why, certainly. You know what you are.
Yes, I do. I'm an American Babbitt who loves his daughter and doesn't want to see her get hurt.
I love you too, darling. But you're a snob.
Who's a slob?
I didn't say slob, I said snob.
Oh, beg your pardon.
By accident of birth, you were born a commoner. All right. By another accident of birth, he was born a prince, and so you look down on him. I ask you, is that fair?
Oh, wait a minute there.
Well, I certainly think a prince deserves the same chances you give a man of humbler birth. Supposing his mother and father were born royal, is that his fault? Is that going to be held over him for the rest of his life?
She's quite right. How would you like it if you'd been born a prince and everybody kept throwing it in your face?
Oh, you two are trying to make a joke of the matter.
No, we're not, darling. Only all men are born free and equal. At least that's the way Americans feel about it. So come on. Let's try not to forget that we're Americans too, huh? Bye.
Oh, what's that now?
Oh, let it ring.
I'm sorry, I thought
I
you were
could not
waiting.
wait another minute.
Oh, how nice.
All night long I have been thinking. In my mind, she is made up. I have something to tell you.
Oh, go ahead, say it.
Here?
Anywhere.
Very well. You must leave Paris.
What? Well, I wouldn't dream of leaving Paris. I'm much too happy here.
It's no use. We must part. But don't ask me why, please. Because, how you say in English, there is more here than meets the eye. There are wills within wills. It must end because we are doomed.
Doomed?
Oui, madame. Doomed. But you have not understand. I am saying goodbye.
But you promised you'd help me pick out a new hat.
You make everything so difficult.
Not everything, darling.
Bonjour.
Good afternoon.
Un instant, s'il vous plaît.
Thank you. Why did you say out there, I don't know what I'm saying?
Because, well, you and I, we're what you say, playing with dynamite.
What?
You know, dynamite. Go poof, boom.
Oh, yes.
Bonjour, madame. Monsieur.
Good afternoon. Let me see some hats, please, for His Highness.
And what size does His Highness wear?
The man would like to know, what size hat do you wear?
7.5.
Thank you. 7.5, please.
Oui, madame.
Yeah.
But what's the matter with this one?
It's awful. Makes you look like an eccentric pallbearer.
Please, Your Highness.
Is this supposed to be an improvement?
Have you an American type hat, please? Perhaps one of those over there.
Oui, madame.
What did you mean when you said we were playing with dynamite?
Playing with what?
Dynamite, you know, poof, boom.
Laura, I don't think that this is any place for us.
You do love me, don't you?
Of course I love you. I love you too much.
Well, then why in heaven's...
I think Your Highness will find this one quite amusing.
That's the trouble with the one he has. If you love me, why don't you prove it?
Because I can't. Because I refuse to. I love you so much that I will not marry you.
Did you ever in your life hear anything so ridiculous?
No, madame.
Certainly not.
Your Highness, don't you think this one is fun?
Fun?
His Highness wants a hat, not a shade.
Laura, please believe me. When I say that there is no other way.
Well, then why can't you be frank with me?
Very well. If you insist, it is my future.
Oh, you mean your past, huh?
Well, the past, the future with the Penayevs, it is the same.
Oh.
Women.
Women?
How is that, Your Highness?
Oh, that looks better. How you like that?
I like it very much. Turn it down just a little bit more on the right side. There, now you look marvelous, you see?
How much?
200 francs.
Throw the old one away.
Yes, Highness. Thank you.
You know, with the Penayevs, love not only comes, it goes. Comes and goes. Comes...
Yes, I know. Like your accent.
Anyhow, that is what I have tried to avoid to tell you.
What?
That there is no hope for us. No chance of happiness for you and me, ever.
You mean this has happened before?
Oh, 20 times.
And you know it'll happen again, huh?
It is the whole history of the Penayevs. Well, not that I am proud of it, you understand. But for 300 years, its women have suffered. It is, what you say, in the blood. It's the curse of the Penayevs, that a man's love is deep but short. It bursts like a skyrocket and dies again.
Are you thirsty?
Oh, what?
Could I have a vermouth cassis?
Oh, certainly.
Thank you. Is this all right?
Bonjour, monsieur, dame.
One vermouth cassis and one vodka.
Oui, monsieur.
I can't understand why my throat's so dry. I haven't been talking very much.
Were you listening to me?
Oh, yes, you were just blackguarding your own family.
Blackguarding? It is impossible to blackguard the Penayevs. Impossible! Their record with women is the most notorious in Europe. but in love. It is one long history of complete failure.
Oh.
Дюжош, мерзавец! Только потому, что думаешь, я позволил тебе взять имя честное Панаева? Ты можешь постарать по фамилии таких. Панаева, ты думаешь, ты хватишь мою фамилию?
Well, I haven't had my drink yet. Well, what's he saying? What's the matter? What's he saying to you?
I'm sorry, but I cannot repeat such language.
Oh, then you know him, huh?
I know only that my family has not spoken to his for more than 250 years.
Oh.
I think we better take a taxi.
Yes, huh? Then you won't come in, huh?
No.
Not ever?
Some things I can explain, and some I cannot. Some things I can do, and some I will not. Better than that, this should be goodbye.
But I wouldn't mind. Anything.
It's impossible. I love you.
And I love you.
Goodbye, dearest.
But Alexis...
No, it's better this way.
What are you doing here?
My boy, I want to congratulate you on a beautiful, beautiful performance.
Yes? Well, it's not going on any longer. I was coming over to tell you tonight. I want you to let me out of this. Let me pay you back in some other way except this.
Oh, come now. You don't have to live your part.
I'm not fooling.
Neither am I.
But you can't force me to.
Oh, no? Why can't I? There's the check, the passport, and we still have jails.
All right. I'll tell her the truth. How'd you like that? I'll tell her the whole business from beginning to end. Hello? Oh, yes? Yes, Laura.
Why don't you tell her now?
What?
I say, will you marry me? Is that you or a bad connection?
But, will I marry you? But, darling, this is so sudden.
Oh, Alexis, I just can't let you go away. You see, you wouldn't ask me, and so I'm compelled to ask you.
Well, what a busy little girl.
I love you, darling, and I want to marry you.
Holy jumping catfish. What is this? What are you doing? Give me that phone.
Darling, I tried to make you say something this afternoon.
Laura, give me that phone.
Keep away. Stop it.
Laura.
Stop it, I tell you. I'm not talking to you, darling. I'm talking to Papa. Alexis, do you love me?
Yes, I do, darling. I do love you. I love you more than anything on earth, but...
Oh, then say you'll marry me. Please
Laura.
say you will. Papa, now I'm warning you. I'm not going to let you or anybody else interfere with my life.
This is preposterous.
It's not
Do
preposterous.
something.
Me? And you doing all right by
Of
yourself?
course I am. If you'll just leave me alone.
Give me that phone.
Stop it. Papa, I'm warning you. If you don't keep away from me, I'll
happily
sting you with this.
No, darling. Don't hit him.
All right, then say you'll marry me.
Well, I love you, Laura, but...
Oh, Alexis, we could be so happy together, my darling.
Well, Laura,
Oh, please, say you will. Say yes. Say yes, Alexis.
Yes. Yes, darling, I will. But, Laura... No. Don't come down here now.
Oh, darling, you're never going to be sorry. Oh, Alexis, I'm going to make you so happy. No, darling. No, I don't think you better come down here now, either. Yes, he's still here. All right, my darling. Tonight.
Well, if you'll excuse me.
Oh, Laura, why did you do that?
Because I love him, Papa.
I know, but...
Well, he wouldn't ask me. I begged him to this afternoon, but just wouldn't.
Doesn't he love you?
Oh, yes, he loves me. That's why he won't ask me.
Well, this may make sense to somebody, but not to me.
Oh, darling, isn't it enough that we love each other? But I'm awfully sure of myself and of him.
You see? You see how easy it was?
Get out.
If it'll make you happy.
Oh, it will, Papa, it will.
Garçon. Donnez-moi une horse's neck.
Your Highness, permit me to introduce Monsieur Durand.
I'm honored, Your Highness. Monsieur Durand has handled affairs of this kind before, and always, I may say, with the greatest delicacy.
Well, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Monsieur Durand is an attorney. He will explain everything.
Will you have a drink, monsieur?
Victor has made everything so clear that I'm sure I shall have no trouble whatever in providing Your Highness with an iron-bound, airtight protection. This happens to be the prenuptial contract I made out for the Marquis de Boissy when he married that American mattress heiress. And I believe we may be able to use the same terms in your case.
Sorry, but you're wasting your time.
Oh, don't let's take that attitude, Your Highness. After all, such arrangements are customary. American girls, you know, are so flighty that no one could blame Your Highness for protecting his name and position in every way possible. And as Victor explained... In view of Mr. Ridgeway's great wealth, I don't believe that $1 million would be too much to ask. $500,000 before the ceremony, half immediately after. This would be our opening demand, subject, of course, to a moderate compromise. But to continue, in the event of divorce, $500,000 in cash. For the first child, $250,000 if a boy, $150,000 if a girl. For a second child, we double those amounts. For the third, fourth, and fifth, we triple, quadruple, and quintuple the amounts. For twins, a flat $1 million. For multiple births beyond twins, we must arbitrate. We do not wish to be unreasonable, but Mr. Ridgeway must be given to understand that we are in no mood to dicker. In addition, if Your Highness has friends or relatives for whom he might wish any benefits under the marriage, we could include them somewhere in the contract. Alors, voyez,
It's no use, Victor. I'm through.
Must I remind you again?
That's not necessary. You can call the police. I'm not going to see her again.
You're being a fool, you know.
Well, let's not waste our breath talking about that. Car, clothes, all this royal haberdashery and junk is yours again. Here's the money, what's left of it. That's all there is to it.
Get me the Sûreté, the chief of police. When you said bunco, I thought you were a gentleman. I was wrong about that. Later, I took you for a rascal. And it seems that I was wrong about that. You're beginning to make me lose faith in my own judgment. Hello. Dubois? Yes, I want to... One moment, please. There's still time to reconsider.
Go on, tell him. Get it over with.
Yes, Dubois? Oh, 1,000 apologies. Oh, no. I called you up to ask you if you would accept a basket of fresh fruit that just came from the country. Yes. Thank you, Dubois. That's the trouble with a flawless plan. There's always a flaw in it. In this case, there were two. Your conscience and my luck. Here's your passport. You may want it.
You mean that's all?
Unless you can think of some way of forcing you into going through with our arrangement.
There's no way.
In that case, what satisfaction would I get in jailing you? Would it get me my money? No. I took a chance like you, and like you, I lost. And that, as you say, is all there is to it, except that I'm sorry. Truly and deeply sorry, both for you and for myself. You'll find that rather hard to believe, but I mean it. We both blundered. My shame was a little more than yours because someone else will have to pay for my stupidity. If you need any money, any part of it, help yourself.
I suppose I ought to thank you for this.
Well, in your place, I doubt if I would.
Well, what about the check?
Well, whatever you do about that, it will be too late for me. Get me Charles. Oh, hello, Charles. Go to Mr. Ridgeway's table, number 9, right away.
Prince or no prince, I'm getting hungry.
I can't understand why he isn't here.
Mr. Ridgeway, Monsieur Victor asked if you would be good enough to come to his office at once.
What does he want? Can he come here?
He says it's very important, sir, and private.
Oh, all right. This way.
I'll have some of that special caviar.
Why can't he come to my table? Well, Victor, what's the matter?
Mr. Ridgeway, I'm a clumsy, blundering fool.
What do you mean?
Oh, this is the most difficult thing I've ever tried to say. The young man, Alexis, is an imposter.
An imposter?
Yes.
You told me you knew him. I relied on your words.
Yes, I know. For that, I have no excuse. But he imposed upon me as thoroughly as he did on you. His credentials, letters from the old Prince Alexis, whom I knew intimately, all forged.
Oh, this is serious, Victor. It's more serious than you realize. When did you learn about this?
2 days ago.
Why didn't you tell me then?
Well, I hoped it wouldn't be necessary. But when I faced him tonight, I learned more than I wanted to know.
He told you about Laura?
He told me that he intended to marry her.
Well, that's one mistake he made anyway.
Well, he doesn't think so. He inferred, and I only have his word for it, that your approval wouldn't even be needed, since she loved him enough to propose marriage herself.
Good Lord, she'll go through with it, too. As old as I am, I'd give $1 million for 5 minutes in the locked room with that rascal. I'd kill him. I'd give you my word of honor, I'd kill him dead. Well, what am I going to do now?
Well, I've done it. I've already disposed of him.
You didn't kill him?
Oh, scarcely that, sir, but he won't bother you again, I promise.
How did you do it?
Oh, what does it matter, Mr. Ridgeway?
And he won't try to see Laura again? Victor, how can I thank you?
Well, it was little enough to do in view of all the distress I brought you.
Distress, perhaps, but not tragedy. At least you saved my daughter from that.
Well, then, sir, I am completely repaid.
Yes, of course. Repaid? What do you mean? Did you pay him money?
Oh, no, sir,
Oh, yes, you did. That's exactly what you've done. You paid him out of your own pocket.
Oh, that's ridiculous, sir.
Come now. How much?
Oh, what does it matter, since the responsibility is mine alone?
How much did you give him?
Embarrassing, Mr. Ridgeway. I don't like to.
It's enough that you got rid of the lizard. I'm certainly not going to let it cost you any money. I don't care what it costs me. It's worth it. Come on. How much? Come. How much?
$1 million francs.
1 million.
I wish you wouldn't do this, Mr. Ridgeway.
One Russian prince.
What about him, Papa?
What about whom, dear?
Alexis. I knew it was something about him. What is it?
Why,
Sooner or later, sir, you'll have to tell her.
Has something happened to him?
I suppose you've got to know, but sit down, dear.
Papa, is he dead?
No.
No, but I warn you, it's bad news. You've got to prepare yourself for a shock.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
The truth of the matter is he's a fake, a phony.
Oh. Yes, darling, I know he is. I've known it from the very first. For days I've been trying to figure out a way of breaking it to you.
But I don't get you. I don't understand.
As a matter of fact, I don't either. But you see, that's what I've been waiting for him to explain it to me. And then I could explain it to you. Now, come on, what have you done with him?
Are you crazy? He's a cheap, swindling scoundrel.
Papa, he's not. The boy's in trouble. I know that. Now, what have you done to him?
I paid him off.
What? Of all the ridiculous things I've ever heard my whole life, that's silly.
Where are you going?
To find him and propose again.
I forbid you to do such a thing.
Victor, what? You may stop trembling, Maxl. The books are balanced.
Will you call Mr. Ridgeway's car, please?
Laura, you're not going to
Now, Papa, what are you going to do? Use force?
Get my hat, get my coat, get my sister. Yes, sir. I tell you, the man is an international adventurer.
International, my foot. Why, don't you suppose I've been out with enough Princeton men to recognize him when I see him?
Princeton? Princeton? It's impossible. That's my school.
Well, I'll try not to hold it against him. Good night.
Laura! Laura! Say, Victor, how do you get the police in this town?
Well, you simply call up the Sûreté and ask for the prefect of police.
Operator, give me the Sûreté.
Why do you call up the police for? What do you want to call him for?
I'm going to jail that young imposter.
But you don't want to do that, so you'll cause a public scandal.
I'll take 5 public scandals before I allow that snake to marry my daughter. Hello.
But what are you going to charge him with?
Sûreté, give me the prefect. He got away with $1 million francs of our money, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Well, that ought to put him in jail. And so long as he's in jail, he'll do mighty little marrying. Mr. Prefect, this is Joseph Ridgeway. Ridgeway. If you don't know who I am, ask the American ambassador. I want you to arrest a crook who's been... No, not a cook, a crook. A crook. Yes, he's been representing himself as Prince Alexis Penknife. 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 Yes. Yes.
Now, be very careful of those dress suitcases because there's lots of perfume in them. And every single time that I've traveled with perfume, I've had them...
Why don't you listen to reason?
I am absolutely not leaving. Just because I'm a girl, you think you can treat me as if I
You're not a girl, you're a mule.
Very well, I'm a mule, but I'm not leaving.
But I've given him enough time to come back from China to explain.
I don't care.
Well, why didn't he do it? Where is he? The police can't even find him.
My guess is he's taking it on the lam. Gangster talk.
I am going to stay right here until I find out what happened and why.
What happened? Heaven give me...
Drop that!
Stop what?
She's talking to the porter.
Do you realize what this means?
Yes, I realize exactly what it means. He's in trouble. I don't know how and I don't know what, but I am going to find out. Will you stop staring and get out of here?
Drop that trunk and scram.
All right, Miss Smarty Pants. You're free, white, and 21.
I certainly am.
You're too big for me to tote and too old for a razor strap.
But I'm not so dumb that I'm going to give up the boy I love simply because he happens to be wearing someone else's title.
Well, there's your boat ticket. For one. And here's 1,000 francs.
Can you spare that much?
Oh, will you stop making jokes? And we'll see how independent you are. And we'll see about it.
Get out!
Mark my words.
Get out, Father! Get out! Get out!
All right, get out.
Good girl.
Oh, Maggie.
You stick it out. Find him. And if you need anything within reason, wire me.
It may interest you to know that your Alexander Brown did not graduate from Princeton. I checked on that by cable.
Get out! Get out! Get out! Hello? No, Mr. Ridgeway's gone. Yeah. What? Well, hold him there. Don't let him get away, and I'll be right there. Now hold him. Don't let him get away.
This way, mademoiselle. I assure you, it's the most magnificent impersonation of a Russian I've ever encountered. At first, even I was taken in. Mademoiselle, the American imposter.
So it's you. You had to bring me to this. Is my whole life to be ruined by these crazy Americans?
Who are you?
Who am I? I am Prince Penknife. 25 times related to the Tsars of Russia. 5 times legitimately. Yes, and my bargain was for silence, not jail. But you pay for this outrage. Yes, you and Victor.
But what's Victor got to do with it?
Victor, that pastry cook, that salad dressing mixer. If I had only but one regiment of my Cossacks, I would have skinned him alive in front of Place Vendôme. You tell him that I'll split his head in half when I'll see him.
Just a moment. How much?
How much? How much for what?
How much to talk about Victor and your bargain?
Miss Ridgeway, I may be in jail, but I am still a man of honor.
5,000 francs?
You may forget, my friend, that you are not dealing with one of these money-made Americans. To a European, there are things in life besides money.
10,000?
His pride, his honor, his self-respect, his, cash?
12,500.
Now, wait a minute. I really don't know what to do, but 15,000 francs will make me very happy.
12,500 is as much as I'll give.
Now, wait a minute. To offer a man less than 15,000 francs for his honor, it's an insult.
All right, 10,000.
Now, wait a minute. I take 12,500, but it's a daylight robbery. Where are the money?
I've got it.
You haven't got it? No. And I said yes? Now what am I going to do?
Well, I'm afraid you have to stay right there until I can get it. That's the man, all right.
Now, wait a minute. Не пускай ее! Мерзавцы американцы! Надули опять! Что они со мной делают, эти мерзавцы? Американцы, я их должен разбудить! Эти мерзавцы, эти подлецы! Я их убью этих!
The charges against you are fraud, conspiracy to defraud, and suspicion of the conspiracy to defraud.
Well, I guess that pretty well covers it.
Darling.
Laura.
Oh, darling.
Miss Ridgeway, if you will pardon me.
Alexander Brown, stop that.
Okay.
Oh, you goof.
Monsieur, this is a police station.
Oh, yes. Mademoiselle is a friend of mine. May I speak with her for a few minutes?
In this room? Yes. Over there, please.
Darling, I've been so unhappy.
Darling, I'm afraid it's no use. He's got me now. Fraud, conspiracy to defraud, suspicion of conspiracy to defraud. They can think of more ways of describing a bad check.
Oh, is that what it was? A bad check?
Well, it had quite a high rubber content.
Oh. And you gave it to Victor, and ever since then, Victor's been giving it to you, huh?
Something like that.
Darling, why did you do it?
Well, all I can say is that once when I was at Princeton, I just happened to have a paper bag full of water in my hand as the dean passed under my window. I'll never know why I did that either. But I've got it coming to me, whatever it is. But I want you to go away somewhere. I don't want to see you mixed up in this.
All right, I'll go away. But you're going with me.
And what's Victor going to say about that?
Victor? We'll fix him. Come on. The charges against Mr. Brown were made by Mr. Joseph Ridgeway, were they not?
Yes, mademoiselle.
Well, then that settles it. And I'm very grateful for everything you've done. Goodbye, gentlemen.
Oh, Miss Ridgeway.
Yes?
Then you identify him positively.
Oh, certainly. Let's go, darling.
Oh, on the contrary, Miss Ridgeway. This young man must be held now. Now, if you will give me the charges, please.
And who are you, may I ask?
I am Mr. Thorndyke of the American Consulate, and I am following your father's instructions in this matter.
Oh, but that's ridiculous. My father intended no such prosecution.
I am sorry, Miss Ridgeway, but your positive identification leaves me no other choice.
But you can't do this. You've got to let him go.
I might say, Miss Ridgeway, your father telephoned me from the station just as he was getting on the train for Havre. Oh, not more than 15 minutes ago. And his final words were a warning against any interference on your part.
Oh. What did you say your name was?
Thorndyke.
And your first name?
I have two. Arthur Cleveland Thorndyke.
Oh, Arthur Cleveland Thorndyke.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Darling, I have to go now, but will you wait here with Mr. Arthur Cleveland Thorndyke? Huh?
Yes, I think I'll be able to arrange it.
I won't be long.
But the other one, the noisy one, mademoiselle.
Oh, hold him by all means.
Marie, nous avons reçu une information. Paris demandant l'arrestation immédiate d'un nommé Joseph Ridgeway.
Le gros industriel américain.
Oui, précisément, il est dans ce wagon. Si vous voulez bien me suivre, messieurs.
Joe, why don't you get out and send her a wire?
No, not me, no.
She's in love.
In love.
I suppose you've forgotten when you fell in love with the second baseman of the Bloomer girls baseball team.
At least she wasn't the second baseman posing as a right fielder.
Are you Monsieur Joseph Ridgeway?
Yes.
You are under arrest. You will come with us quietly.
Arrest? What for?
Because you say you are Monsieur Joseph Ridgeway, of course.
What do you mean, of course? Of course I'm Joseph Ridgeway. Here, take a look at this if you want to know who I am.
We know who you are. You are the man who stole this passport.
Stole this Do you mean to tell me that I'm not Joseph Ridgeway of Akron, Ohio? What does this mean? What does it all mean?
Who is making this charge?
Monsieur Thorndyke, Consulat de Paris.
Thorndyke. It's in French. Read it.
Prefect of Police Rouen. Arrêté homme posant. Arrest man posing as Joseph Ridgeway aboard Normandy boat train. He is using stolen passports and credentials, suspected of being the notorious Smarty Pants Dugan.
Smarty Pants?
Confidence man. Blue eyes, 5'7", mole on left hip, mole on left hip. Bring him to Paris at my expense. Arthur Cleveland Thorndyke.
Cleveland Thorndyke. He wouldn't do that. This is a frame-up. My daughter...
You will have to explain all this to the Prefect Police in Paris.
Well, I guess they got us at last, Smarty Pants.
Shut up.
Smarty Pants.
Oh, so you are Smarty Pants.
Yes, I'm not Smarty Pants.
Take it easy, pal. Maybe we can beat this rap. We'll go quiet, boys.
But not you, madame.
I'm his ma. Where he goes, I go. American gangster talk.
Come with us right away. The guards will take care of your...
Maggie, let me tell you something. If you were a man, I'd punch you right in the puss.
get down all those dress suitcases and be very careful of them because they've got perfume in them. And every time I come to Paris, I lose some of the perfume, and I'm not tired of doing it, too.
Victor, it was the narrowest escape we ever had. But the books balance to the franc.
When do the auditors arrive?
Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock.
Don't you see how unnecessary it is to worry about such situations?
Oh, but if we hadn't gotten the £1,000,000 francs from the rich American...
Yes, Maxl, but the point is we did get the £1,000,000 francs from the rich American. Entrez. It seems incredible to me that with a man like myself at your side that you should have an instant of doubt.
It has taught me a lesson, Victor, and I hope I'll never again be called on to prove it. What is it, Victor?
Why, he wouldn't dare come back here.
Look here.
Good evening.
Miss Ridgeway, sir?
Good evening, Victor. This is our last night, you know.
Oh, so you're sailing.
Yes, tomorrow.
I'm sorry indeed to see you go.
Yes, we'll miss you, too.
Oh, Papa. Maggie. Your Highness?
It's our last night, Victor.
I was just telling him, Papa, and he says he'll miss us.
No, dear, no, I said that.
So you did, darling, and how clever of you, too.
Shall we let Smarty Pants order for us?
Margaret, as I pointed out, being pinched, being detained is not funny under any circumstances.
Very true, Mr. Ridgeway. Very true indeed.
You're just not used to this sort of things, Mr. Ridgeway. May I order Russian dinner for everybody?
Oh, yes,
Caviar, I love it.
Yes, Victor. For everybody. На закусочку дай мне икорочки. Холодненькой икорочки с лимончиком. Затем дай мне борщ с пирожком. I'm quite sure His Highness would like very much to have борщ с пирожком. Затем дай мне бефстроганов со сметаночкой. И на сладкой кисель с молочком.
Is that all, sir?
Yes, that will be all.
No, Victor. Victor, that's not all. Papa tells me that he gave you a little money for Mr. Brown. But strangely enough, Mr. Brown doesn't remember your giving it to him.
Oh, Victor forgot about it. Slipped his mind, didn't it, Victor?
Yes, sir.
You mustn't worry about Victor.
Oh, no, I don't mean that. But I do think that Mr. Brown would like it now. With his caviar, wouldn't you, darling?
Well,
Yes, of course. Get it for him. He'll like it.
Yes, sir.
I'm giving it to them as a wedding present. They're going to be married. Hurry it up.
Very good, sir.
Wonderful evening, isn't it, Prince?
Oh, sensational.
La 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 dee, la 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 la. Something wrong again, Victor?
I'm afraid, Maxl, we're going to have to get into the safe once more.
Oh, no.
Maxl!
No.
Open it.
I don't want to take it, Mr. Ridgeway. It isn't right. Besides, I can take care of Laura.
Well, I expect you to. But look at it this way. Before you two begin life as a struggling young couple, I want you to buy yourself something beautiful, something that you both want, something that'll make you very happy, as my wedding present.
We'll take it.
Is the check all right, sir?
Of course.
Is that satisfactory, sir?
Yes, that's fine.
Let me see that check. Is this what you want?
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what we want. Let's dance, darling. Excuse us.
No.
Which way is that fellow Victor's office?
If I remember correctly, it is,
Well, what are you going to do?
There doesn't seem to be but one thing left for me to do. Hold my watch.
Monsieur Ridgeway.
What is it?
Wild strawberries by special plane from Algeria. Compliment of Monsieur Victor. Victor.
Great fellow, Victor.
Remember, we're not going to charge Mr. Ridgeway for those wild strawberries. Only for the cost of the special plane to Algeria and back.
Yeah, Monsieur Victor. All right. I feel better now.
What are you thinking about?
I was thinking maybe you give me big kiss now.
That's just the kind of accent that gets people in jail, you know.
My accent, she comes and goes, comes and goes, goes.
Ah, Miss Ridgeway, you look so beautiful tonight. You know, you're beautiful enough to be a princess.
Thank you, Your Highness. Get out your checkbook, Joe. Here we go again.